Welcome to Nintendo K channel, I am Danny. Today we'll be analyzing the Nintendo Switch performance of Atelier Ressleriana, the Red Alchemist, and the White Guardian. This is the latest mainline entry in the long-running Atelier series from Gust and Koei Tecmo. Unlike his predecessor, Atelier Yumiya, which experimented with open world and more action-driven elements, Ressleriana takes a step back towards the series' roots with traditional turn-based combat system, a deeper focus on alchemy, and classic RPG progression. If you're new to the series, Atelier Ressleriana is a role-playing game where you'll gather resources, craft items through alchemy, explore the Lantarna mainland, and battle enemies with a party of colorful characters. Now that we covered the basics, let's move on to what you're here for. How does Atelier Ressleriana actually perform on the Nintendo Switch? Thanks to Koei Tecmo for providing a review copy, I was able to benchmark the game on the Switch. The game targets 30 frames per second or FPS and is capped at that frame rate. Starting with pre-rendered video cutscenes, Ressleriana generally delivers smooth playback. I did notice some minor frame placing issues and occasional drop frames in certain sections. It's a little odd to see this during video playback, but since these aren't interactive, it doesn't impact gameplay in a meaningful way. The game also features many in-engine cutscenes that showcase character interactions, story beats, and action sequences. These usually maintain the 30 FPS target, but dips can occur, particularly during action-heavy or visually dense scenes. At times, frame rates can fall into the mid-20s. Slower dialogue-driven scenes with multiple character animations perform more consistently and stay at 30 FPS. Though small blips in frame rate and frame time still pop up occasionally. Exploration across the various environments is where the Switch has the most to juggle. Moving through towns feels smooth, and frame rates remain consistent even when rotating the camera while walking. Sprinting and panning the camera shows good results as well. Like the cutscenes, you may notice some occasional judder, but nothing too disruptive. Other areas such as caves behave similarly. Moving around and gathering materials show stable performance, with frame rate and frame time staying mostly linear aside from the occasional tiny blip. Combat, however, tells a different story. The Nintendo Switch struggles the most during battle sequences. In these moments, the frame rate can dip noticeably below 30 FPS, especially during battle animations and flashy visual effects. I record dips as low as 18 FPS, with frame time spiking significantly. This behavior was consistent across the battles I encountered. You may be wondering how the game fares on the Nintendo Switch 2. The good news is that the performance is significantly better on the newer hardware. Combat sequences play out much smoother with fewer frame rate dips overall. On top of that, cutscenes, exploration, and general movement also benefit from the increased power. While dips can still occur, they are far less disruptive, making the Switch 2 the better platform to experience this game if you have the option. In the end, Atelier Ressleriana on Nintendo Switch offers a mixed performance package. While the game often hits its 30 FPS target during cutscenes and exploration, combat sequences remain the most problematic and may hinder the experience for some. That said, because this is a slower paced RPG with turn-based systems, the frame rate fluctuations are not deal breakers for most players. As long as you keep your expectations in check, the Switch version still delivers a very enjoyable way to experience Atelier Ressleriana. Of course, everyone's tolerance for frame rate drops will vary, so your mileage may vary. On the other hand, if you have access to the Nintendo Switch 2, that's the best way to play. It's backwards compatible, runs the game with far fewer issues, and takes advantage of more powerful hardware. That wraps up my performance analysis of Atelier Ressleriana on the Nintendo Switch. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Nintendocade for more analysis on upcoming games. I'm Danny, and I'll catch you in the next one.